All right, and welcome to this edition of the EV Revolution Show. My name is Kenneth McCoy, your host, and I'm here yet with another car review on a chilly November morning as I try to get this review in before this rain comes through. I got to work fast, folks. So thanks very much for taking the time to watch this video where I finally get my hands for an extended period of time on a 2026 Lucid Air. This is their touring trim edition of that Lucid Air product. Now, I've driven the Air a couple of times, did a short video probably about a year or two ago when I was at AJAC Test Fest testing some vehicles. So I did have a chance to drive this around for about 20 minutes, half an hour or so, and did a quick video, I believe, at that time. But now I've had a chance to spend about a week with this product and to give you my thoughts and comments on a very well-established platform and a well-established vehicle now in this electrified marketplace. So first, before I get into the video, I want to thank LUCID Canada for allowing me the use of this press vehicle for a few days. It's been a pleasure to drive around. So let me get right to it and tell you my thoughts. Now, as I mentioned, this is the touring version of the Lucid Air, and as you can see, the Air is its namesake. It is a very low vehicle with a very low drag coefficient. That's really the integral part of the Lucid design language here in this vehicle because they're their own company. This is something brand new. They're not leveraging anybody else's styles per se. They've come up with their unique styling on both the Air and then, of course, the new Gravity, which I'll review sometime early part of next year. And this is their own. So this is own in-house design, in-house engineering, in-house development and production of their powertrain, their batteries, their motors, everything in here. Now I'm sure they're selling and getting parts from some of the other suppliers that are out there, of course. But you know, being able to design a drag coefficient, I think this is one of the industry leading drag coefficients of 0.197. That is extremely slippery. And I can tell you from driving this vehicle around the countryside and doing my errands and back and forth and all that stuff that this is a really easy vehicle to drive, and it does slip through the air quite effortlessly. So, you know, looking at the design cues from the front end with all the different LED accents, the light bar, the name, the lighted name, it does stand out. It's a unique looking vehicle. There is nothing else like this in the marketplace per se. You know, this would be a direct competitor to the Tesla Model S as an example, the Mercedes EQE probably at this point, and others. So it certainly is in that price point and in that styling arena of design. So, you know, just I really like the looks of this vehicle. It's been really nice to look at, to poke at, and to see all the different elements that Lucid's done. My only complaint, and being because I'm getting older, folks, and when you get older, it gets kind of harder to get in these low vehicles. This is a low vehicle, not that it bottoms out, because the suspension is absolutely fantastic at not bottoming out on speed bumps and handling the road bumps and stuff that it throws at you while driving. But it is still a low car to get into, and I keep bumping my head on the roof line here. Every time I get in, I've had to continuously lower that seat. I like to sit a little higher, but I found myself having to lower the seat because I kept bumping this getting in and getting out, that headliner and that corner. So it is something that ergonomically, you've got to get in this and see if it works for you and your family or whoever you're driving around. Once you're in, though, and I'll talk about the interior later, it is a fantastic vehicle to be in. It's very nice, very comfortable, very supportive, and quiet and competent. But just to wrap up on the externals, yeah, very unique product, nicely done. People will, you know, hum and haw regarding the trunk on this, whether it should have been a full-blown hatch or a trunk like the Model 3. I would probably side on the Air of, I wish they had done the hatch like a Model S, because that's really what this is competing against. But they have for this year increased the opening in the trunk, and I'll talk about cargo space coming up, so to make it a little easier to get stuff in and out. And it does have a fairly deep well as well, similar to what Tesla has. So, and it does have a frunk, so I'm going to show you all that stuff coming up. Anyway, a lovely car. Let me get more into some of the stats. Now, as I talk about some of the power and the stats on this, as you can see, I've opened this up. This does have a power frunk, both for open and close, so that's a nice feature. It closes and opens very slowly, very nice. I'll show you in some of the B-roll coming up as far as the cargo space goes on this front, but there is no, of course, engine bay or electronics showing here. It's all being used by Frunk. So this is the Touring Edition, which is an all-wheel drive version, as I mentioned. This is the second step up in a 4 or 5 tier platform trim offering that Lucid has. And it is a dual motor all-wheel drive producing 620 horsepower and 885 pound-feet of torque. So it's quite massive. This thing goes really, really quick, and they can even be faster than this, folks. So this is only the second tier of a few tiers. It's all powered by a 92 kilowatt hour battery pack. There's about 18 modules in that. So as you move up the line, the batteries can get a little bigger because you're drawing more power, so you still want to maintain some range. Speaking of EPA range, this does have a range estimate of 694 kilometers of EPA range, or 406 miles in this trim, which is outstanding. When I charged this up at the beginning, after I picked it up, it was showing 599 kilometers, and that was at about 4 degrees centigrade, 4 or 3 degrees. It's been a really cool week. Right now it's probably, I think, 2 degrees with this wind chill pushing on about -1, -2. It's kind of almost a wet snowish thing today happening. It should get up to about 6. But we have gone down to -4s, and we've had some snow in the last couple of days. So I got to see how this thing handled in the snow, even with all-season tires. Didn't have snows yet. Actually handled quite well. But it is a lot of power, so you do have to be prepared for that power in the winter, and make sure that you put appropriate snow tires on. 100% needed, absolutely. So lots of power. Lots of great specs. As I mentioned, Lucid has engineered very, very well their powertrain. I don't know where they source the batteries from. You'd have to look that up. I don't think they're in-house, but obviously the modules and the cells, I don't remember if they're cylindrical or pouch. I have a feeling they're cylindrical, and putting all that together in-house. And I believe that these are built in Arizona, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere down in the States. So they may be subject to the tariffs here in Canada. I looked at their pricing, and I'll get the pricing at the end of this. I did not see a pricing increase very much, if there was one. So they might be quasi-absorbing that tariffs or only passing a part through. I don't know. But these are assembled in the US. But they're very well done, very solid, no squeaks, rattles. This is a press vehicle with about 3,000 kilometers, and it's solidly built. They've done a great job there. So from a frunk perspective, I've got to get down so I can get in camera here. As you can see, it's a pretty big frunk, fairly wide, and it does have some depth to it. When I open up this partition, you can see how far I can go down. I've got this clipboard. It goes all the way down. The top just comes up, so you can see that. That's how deep it goes into this frunk area. It is a massive size frunk. I believe the specs on this are 10 cubic feet, or 283 liters. So let me get in camera. So that's a good size frunk. That's one of the biggest frunks in the market. That's not a pickup truck. So they've done a good job at leveraging the space here. And I'll show you the rear space coming up as well on how that works. Nicely carpeted. No plugs or power outlets that I can see, just a light and an emergency release. But well done anyway. So for charging, the charging port is located in the front where the driver's is. Behind the front wheel. There's a button inside to open it up, or you can just push that. Now the car locked on me again because I'm standing next to it. So just push down on the bottom here. There we go. There's no indicator where to push, so it's a little funky, but through the inside button you can see it folds down, and there is a CCS port here, just your standard CCS port for your J1772, for your level 1, level 2, and then your couple other plugs for DC. AC charging is up to 19.2 kilowatts built in, and DC fast charging up to 250 kilowatts, but you would need to put that on a 350 kilowatt charger to try to achieve those speeds. They claim 15 minutes of charging at a 350 kilowatt charger will get you up to 320 kilometers of range, or about 200 miles in 15 minutes. So good charging, definitely for road tripping. These are excellent vehicles for that. So if we look at the rear cargo space, before I show you the inside, there is a push button here for the trunk. Now, it does have a power trunk option, of course. It does have, of course, the safety lighting, because there is some lighting underneath here. Because those turn signals and hazards go up with the lid, OEMs need to put additional safety lights here, both for safety standards, for turn signals and hazard lights, exactly for this reasoning. So that if you pulled over to the side of the road, you still have some sort of light package. That's not all taken away because of the trunk or liftgate that goes up. So good to see that. Now, apparently they've opened up this widening a little bit more. Lucid has said so for the 2026 years, and it does look like it goes almost a little bit wider, extends a little bit more to the edge of the trunk opening. I believe the height is about the same. There's no changes there. It's just to the width. So it is easier to load and unload. Now, this is again a low car, so you do need to duck and kind of load in. Bringing stuff out is pretty easy because you're at mid-level, but you do need to factor that in. I can tell you the cargo room in the trunk is 22.1 cubic feet or 625 liters. It's a decent size. It's not class leading, but this is a sedan vehicle. So this isn't a SUV or crossover. This is truly a sedan, like a Model S as an example, or others. So it does have a good amount of trunk space. You can put the seats back. It does have a pass-through as well for like skis or golf, that kind of stuff. Not a golf club bag, but some clubs in general. Let's say if you want to put something through, definitely a ski pass-through in those seats that do fold down. So you can get additional storage in there as well from that. So just take that into account. Now it does have a cubby under here as well, like in the front, and it is just as big. I would say it's almost exactly the same kind of size cubby in the front. A big cubby, and I believe that adds to the entire cargo space for the trunk, because together it's about 32 cubic feet. So it's a good size together to get bags and stuff and some people still in the vehicle as well. All right, so let's see how it is me getting into this low car. It's not going to be the greatest thing, I can tell you that, but it is comfortable once you're in. So it does have a really nice high door opening. It's pretty well 90 degrees. It's very rare to see this, but it opens quite wide, as you can see, perpendicular, so as much room as possible for passengers to get and for you to put stuff in here as well. So you get in. I don't believe there's any grab handles because you don't need them, but just kind of hold the door and just kind of sink down into this. So you can see I bumped my head just ever so slightly. Now, once I'm in this cabin, it's a very nice cabin to be in. In fact, there is a grab handle here. It's very plush. I've got tons of leg room. I've got this set for where I am, being 5'7", and as you can see, I have almost probably a foot of leg room. It's quite a lot here. Very comfortable seats, and the use of materials is nice. These are heated and ventilated seats in the back as well on the outboard too. So that's a nice feature. Again, this is a luxury car. It has a storage cubby and just some direct air vents as well. And then you can go to the climate here. So you do have those controls here where you can direct the air. Your standard hard plastic mat pockets, which are nice. Again, lots of room in here. Even with this open ceiling with a fixed piece of glass, it still has lots of headroom, and it's a nice recline. The seats are very supportive as well for the individuals. Again, 4 will be very comfortable. 5 will be doable. 5th won't be as comfortable because this is a very stiffer piece, being the armrest, but it will do in a pinch for sure. Overall, a very nice interior to be in, but a low vehicle with that low sloping line. So it is going to be a bit of a challenge, especially for some older people or taller people, to get in and out of this vehicle, as you have to really duck under this headliner and under this the roof frame pillar here. But once you're in, it's comfortable. Right now I've got a little break from the weather because it's been changing as I film here. But as you can see, so this is this 32-inch curved display that I mentioned here. It's a very lovely elevated display. Very nice. You have your face sensors here underneath. So when you're using the Dream Drive stuff, which is the ADAS system that Lucid calls it, it needs to see that you're looking ahead, not sleeping or goofing around. So very nice steering wheel at the flat bottom. It's a very comfortable steering wheel to use. A good use of materials is, again, really like the design of it. These are the toggles you can push in or push up for different functionality depending on what menu and what settings you're in. Your ADAS controls are here, and then your music search and your microphone for some of the command systems that you can do, like navigation and things like that. Very well laid out. These are mainly your controls for your lights, wipers, rear heat, charging, door locks, that kind of stuff. You have your center driver's binnacle, which you can change some of the views, and then your right hand side, which is your main menus for navigation, for music, for making CarPlay. This does support Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Just make sure that that's down so I don't get any strikes. And I've been using this. Now, one thing that's nice, if I'm in music mode, let's say, I'll go here to this bottom tablet, which they call the Pilot tablet, the Pilot display. It has a lot of different functionalities, as you can see from your main screen perspective on doing some of the openings, you know, showing what doors are open, open the charge port, open the front, open the trunk, that kind of stuff. This, I'm not sure what that is. Oh, I see. Okay. I just found that one out. That actually is a rear shade for the rear occupants. I had no idea. I'm going to lower that now so you can see what's going on here. You can see that going down, one of those mesh things. Say, I learned something new on the fly with you folks. So you've got that because they have some built into the rear windows as well. So it shows everything there. These are your seat controls. This one does not have massage, but you can get that as an option as well. All kinds of different seat controls for the passenger. Your ambient lighting themes, it's not overpowering here, the ambient lighting. I've noticed there are some built-in themes. It's pretty light. And then some of the charging elements, preconditioning, open, setting your charge limits, that kind of stuff. Everything set to 100 because it's a press vehicle, limiting that, and setting your schedules, of course. So pretty well normal stuff. And then some stats in the advanced settings, including battery preconditioning. So now that the winter, if I'm got a charging station as a destination, it will start preconditioning the battery. So that's all good. And then we have our drive modes, our smooth, our swift, and our sprint. There's different regenerative braking as well. I've got it set to standard. You can off, so there's nothing, or you can high where it's fairly intense. I find that the smooth is the really nicest drive setting here. And then you've got your controls for your steering wheels and mirrors like Tesla. If you want to change a mirror, you just do that and off you go. And you can set all these up to a profile. Screen brightness, your trip, and your glove box. It's a pretty big glove box, as you can see here. Good amount of storage. Nothing crazy about a glove box. Then we have our settings controls, all kinds of different settings, from regenerative braking and driving controls to your Dream Drive ADAS settings, to your connectivity, audio settings. Got a very nice stereo system. I don't know the brand. I don't think it's labeled. It's probably like Tesla, where it's an in-house developed in coordination with somebody. There are some apps that as well that are on here, and you can add more apps. And you set up your profiles and different information. This just did a software update last night. So this has very nice over-the-air updates like Tesla does, which are automatically pushed to you. And then it asks you to install it because it takes a while. And again, vehicle settings for things like that, trip information, all that kind of stuff as well. Here I can see right now I've done 216 kilometers. I burned through 43 kilowatt hours of fuel per se. And this is my efficiency, which I'm going to show again at the end once I'm done. I still got a few more days of driving and all kinds of other stuff going on here. So nice to have the settings. And then your parking. The cameras are really nice on this. You've got a couple cameras. You have one up here in the right-hand side of the display, where you can do different views, zoom in a little bit or zoom out. You have a front view and a rear view. Right now I have the rear hatch. No, I have it down, so that's good. It is showing behind me, so that's good. And again, you can get different, a little bit zoomed in view if you're trying to get into a parking spot, or a zoomed out view, that kind of stuff. And then down here is you have your 360 elements, and it's very nice because it does give you this effect here of the virtualizing and using a digital imagery to patch these views together. Here's some running video of me going through the car wash just before coming here, as you can see how it looks coming out of that. And you can turn, things like the dingers off and that kind of stuff as well. It does have auto park features for parking in and parking out, and you can turn those annoying dings off. So that's really what this is. Now, one other cool feature before I continue to show you the front here is that this Pilot screen, there are some storage space behind here, as you may not see. How the hell do you get there? Well, if you flick this button, I've been doing this wrong so many times. I'm not sure why. There you go. You kind of have to flick it. My wife did it the right way. As you can see, it's kind of open storage cubby. And it's a fair size storage cubby. You can put with a shelf, and there's some stuff. I put Kleenex here because it's winter. So that's nice to have. And when you want this screen back down, you just do that flick, and back down the tablet comes. A couple of those, again, those really tight fitting coffee cup holders. And then another cubby storage here with phone charging and some charge ports. And then this all closes as well if you want to make it nice and neat. I've left it open. And then some auxiliary storage here. Let me see if I can get that without getting my hand in the view. You can put some coins or whatever down here, and then you have a fairly deep storage element here, which I haven't used. So all in all, a nice amount of storage, considering that you have that storage underneath the tablet as well. Just have to remember not to forget stuff in there, because I'm guaranteeing I'm going to forget that Kleenex box when I return this vehicle. Otherwise, a very nice dash. Now, one of the other interesting things about this is this floating visor. If you can see that here, you can see I'm into the panoramic roof. I keep going up. It goes way back behind, about to the headrest of the front seats. So this is all glass. So a la the Model X, you've got this floating visor system here, and it works well, but I think I'd like to have a roof, because sometimes that sun in the morning when you're driving to work in the right way, it gets to that annoying spot, and it's really hard to block out. So I'm not so sure I'm sold on this. But again, it's all about that air concept, right? Being light, being open, being airy, not only in the way it drives and slips through the air, but giving you that sense of space. And this does have a lot of nice space in the vehicle because of their skateboard platform that they use. So that's basically about it. Everything is nicely laid out from a controls perspective. The use of materials is great. The seats are really nice. These are heated and cooled as well. No massaging in this one as my cones blow away. But it is very comfortable and does a nice job. Some quick driving thoughts here in the Lucid Air. It's a really nice vehicle right now. I have the ADAS system deployed with their quote-unquote full self-driving, or their autopilot, I should say, feature, where it's lane keeping, adaptive cruise, that kind of stuff. I don't believe it recognizes lights and anything like that. As far as driving the vehicle, as I may have mentioned, this is extremely planted. This is like driving on rails, folks. It really is a wonderful car to drive around country roads, and to excite, get some excitement in going through the blood, to wind yourself up on these colder winter mornings now and days. So it's a really nice vehicle to drive. It's fairly quiet, very comfortable. It handles the bumps extremely well. So my hat's off to the luxurious side of this. The seats are supportive, but they've definitely improved this product. Since I saw it about a couple years ago, I thought that it was kind of loud and not as comfortable, and they've really done a great job in improving it. This also has automatic lane change when you initiate it, so it will do the lane change by itself. So I'm going to hold this off canter a little bit. So I'm going to change from the left lane here to go right lane one over. I've got lots of room. So once I just hit the stalk, as you can see, it's got the side mirrors. It initiates the lane change, tells you to watch the road, and then it's done. So pretty easy, nice and smooth as well, and it checks to make sure everything is safe. So hope you've enjoyed all my thoughts and impressions about this really, really lovely product in the Lucid Air. Now, of course, everything comes at a price point. When you get a lot of luxury and a lot of features and performance that this vehicle has, it's not going to be cheap. The base price on this touring edition here in Canada is $112,800. The base price on the pure version, which is one step lower than this, which is the entry-level version, is at $99,900. Now, how does that compare? Well, if I compare that to a Model S, I believe the last time I looked, the Model S pricing from Tesla starts at about $130,000 to $140,000 base. Let's say $130,000. Somebody can check me, but it's definitely more money than the base of this. And I would say the Model S would compare to for sure the Touring model anyway, this particular model, from performance and from specs. It's definitely right up there. So if you're in that market of vehicle for a luxury sedan all electric, you should definitely consider the Lucid Air. So it of course gets a thumbs up from me as a recommendation. It's been a pleasure to spend several days in getting to know this product. It's solid, it's planted, it's very luxurious, it's quiet, it's extremely capable. In fact, it's too fast, folks. It's got a lot of power. It handles like it's on rails. It is outstanding, the handling capabilities of these vehicles. So if you're in the market for this, I would strongly suggest that you look at one. All right, and that's it for this edition of the EV Revolution Show. Thanks very much for tuning in to watch this review of an exciting vehicle, a Lucid Air, the 2026 Lucid Air Touring trim version of that vehicle. Again, I want to thank LUCID Canada for allowing me the use of this press vehicle. They're always very kind to me. They've invited me to events and are very easy to deal with, very nice people. I do wish Lucid the best. Again, thanks very much for watching this show. All my contact information is here. Email works best. If you have questions, you want to ask me about this vehicle. If you own one, I'd love to hear from you. So again, contact me there. Again, everybody stay safe. Continue to watch the EV market. It's not all bad news, folks. Globally, we will grow this year. In North America, we will either be flat, or in Canada, we will be down 4 or 5%. That's kind of where the numbers are tracking. So it's not all doom and gloom, but we are in this for the long game. This isn't a short game thing. We just have to continue to educate folks and to let you know how incredible electric vehicles are and that they can work for you. And I would say that EVs don't work for everybody, but they work for almost everybody. So I'll leave you to that on note. Until the next time, stay safe, and I'll see you when I see you. Take care.